Welcome to the Professor Slots Podcast. I'm your host, Dr. John Friedel. Although I have a PhD, please call me John. I help slots enthusiasts improve their gambling performance with next-level tactics and strategies. Want to accelerate your slots journey? Be more profitable and understand casinos better to take advantage of them? I have over a decade of experience working with slots enthusiasts just like you, so you're in the right place. In case you missed it, on my last episode, I had a wonderful conversation with Mike. I hope you enjoyed listening to my last episode as much as I enjoyed making it for you. Isaac's squeak toy. Today's episode number 169 includes my conversation with John, but I'll get to our conversation in a moment. But first, improve your slots performance in 30 days or less with my 30 days to play slots smarter and win. You also get 3 valuable bonuses, plus 1 month free membership to my Slots Enthusiast Growth Network, where you'll get community support and accountability. Visit professorslots.com/30 days to learn more about the free bonuses, course content, and testimonials from participants. Next up is my conversation with John. I have something important to talk to you about afterwards, so stick around. In the meantime, enjoy. Hello, podcast listener. I'm here with John. Say hello, John, and tell us where you're from.
Hi, I'm John Gillies, and I am I'm currently living in Las Vegas, Nevada. I'm from Wisconsin. I was originally from Madison, Wisconsin.
Okay. Are you visiting Las Vegas? Are you living in Las Vegas?
I have moved to Las Vegas. I'm here more or less permanently from now on in. I work in the airline industry. I can't say which airline, at least I'm not supposed to. And I'm an instructor for them. Oh. And in addition to that, I am a slots enthusiast. I also play a little poker and a little craps.
Okay. I don't often mention it, but I'm an aerospace engineer.
Oh, okay. I did solid state physics. I studied the properties and principles of passing light through solid objects. Fiber objects, as we call it.
I was in condensed matter physics.
Cool.
Which is the modern after 19 something. anyway, I have I'm a couple of physics degrees, and I gave myself my first job of, now that I'm a physicist, I'm going to get an engineering degree or 2 or 3. And so as a physicist, I did that, if that helps understand who I am.
Sure.
And I got laid off 2 years ago from the one of the bigger engine manufacturers. And I did non-destructive evaluation, ultrasound, and I was the guy who basically wrote the procedures.
Okay. I did destructive testing.
We had one office in my research center, in the research center that I was at. It was non-destructive evaluation, but the office, which was the graduate student office, said non-evaluative destruction.
Yeah, it's odd, that there aren't more scientists that get into the slots, the slots hobby and take their slots journey, because it's something that you can really, really sink your teeth into.
Yes.
You could.
Yes.
And I didn't realize that until after my concussion.
Oh.
Yeah.
Tell me more.
Okay. My mother, I used to drive her up to a casino near us in Wisconsin all the time, and she loved to play slots and she loved to play bingo. Okay. I never really got into it at that time, because at that time in my life, I just wasn't receptive to it. And then I started watching poker on TV. And from being in the entertainment industry before that, I knew that what I was seeing, it was part of reality, but it wasn't the whole reality. So I started, going to poker tournaments and just watching the tournament. And I realized that what I was seeing on TV was the exciting, dynamic, and rare part of poker. And usually in poker, one person has a pair and the other person doesn't, and the hand ends. It's kind of dull. But I realized that I could take that dullness and make it work for me. So I studied poker, and I became not a good poker player, but good at evaluating other poker players and making sure that I competed against people that either I was better than or on an equal footing. There are some people that are considerably better than me. I avoid them because I want to keep my money, okay? So everything was fine. I'm now working in the airline industry, so I'm traveling once a month to Las Vegas. I'm playing some poker. I'm winning like 5 trips out of 6. I would win money, and the 6th trip I would lose a couple $100s, you know. So I'm way ahead, and then I'm rear-ended by this clown. He just didn't stop. He rear-ends my car, and I get a concussion. And now my attention span, instead of going for hours at a time playing poker, my attention span is down to, minutes, or in some cases just seconds.
Oh.
So I needed something else to do. So I started watching these short YouTube videos just to fill the time. And, without being able to play poker, I was getting kind of depressed. And I stumbled across one of your videos. This is about, 3-4 years ago now? And, okay.
3-4 years ago? I'm so sorry. 3-4 years ago? Oh my goodness, I can just imagine. I believe I've taken that one down. It's like reading from the script and,
No.
You liked it?
No. I downloaded it.
Oh.
I have it somewhere. Okay. I downloaded it. Okay. And I watched it a whole bunch of times, and it was about your 5-spin method.
Okay.
Now, I still liked to travel, but I couldn't play poker, so I fly from Wisconsin to Vegas, and I do long weekends, and I would go to shows, and I would go to the state parks, and I would go see the Sharks, hopefully they would eat somebody I didn't like, but then it's like, okay, I'll try this guy's 5-spin method. And I was at, can I plug a casino?
Go ahead. There's no sponsorships, no promotions. It's your opinion. Yeah. They're not paying us.
I was at South Point.
Yes.
Down on the south end of the Strip. One of my favorite casinos. If you haven't been there, it's a lovely casino. So anyway, I'm at South Point, and I had gone there the night before for the buffet, which was amazing. So I go back, and it's a matinee. It's noon. And I stopped by one of the machines. It's one of the Buffalo machines, okay? Buffalo Stampede or Buffalo Gold, one of them. And I'm like, okay, I'll take 5 spins at the cheap level just to see what happens, okay? 75 cents disappears. 75 cents disappears. $563.68 appear. Third spin, I hit $500. Hey, maybe this Professor Slots is onto something. I'll go try another machine. And this one's Buffalo Gold Revolution. First spin, nothing. Second spin, nothing. Third spin, nothing. Fourth spin, $1,100. Not a hand pay, because they're $1,200 hand pays at South Point. Okay. Now, I've only had one hand pay since, and that was at one of the MGM casinos. I hit for $11,663.61.
Congratulations.
I know this. I have a picture of it, on my screen. Okay. I haven't hit a hand pay since then, but part of that is because I haven't played enough. Okay. My job responsibilities changed, and I went from a 35, 40-hour a week so I could go hit the slot machines here in Vegas or maybe play a little poker. My concussion is improving. I can play a little poker now, and I can play a little craps, but mostly I stick with slots. And
good luck with your recovery.
Oh, thank you. So anyway, I'm working 70, 80 hours a week for like 4 consecutive months. So from, mid-October until after tax day, I got in 4 hours of slots. That was it.
Wow.
you know. So I had no time to do anything. Okay. So then I go back and I'm at Luxor, and I'm about to leave, and I go to cash in, and the woman at the cashier's desk just asked, I made a couple $100. The woman at the cashier's desk asks from out of nowhere, "Do you have a player's card?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, okay." And I handed it to her, and I did not realize that somehow, some way along the line, I had gained a couple of status levels. So it's like, I've been paying for parking.
Yeah, it's like, when did that happen, and is that valuable? And I did that myself,
Yeah.
and somebody who was more experienced years ago at playing slots. When he said you should get that updated, I'm like, I don't know if that's, and he kind of looked at me with pity, and I noticed. Yeah, yeah, okay, I'll do that.
But yeah, having the upgraded status on the card is a truly tremendous thing, because for when I'm not playing slots, if I just go down to it's at all the MGM facilities. So there's like 13 parking lots on the Strip, and then the next free parking, you got to go all the way down to the Venetian. Okay, so there's that dead spot in the middle where the Caesars and the Bally's and all that stuff are, where I don't have free parking privileges. But, having that free parking, it's like, there are some nights that if I didn't have that, I wouldn't go. And since my schedule has freed up, it's like, yeah, I got a couple hours. I got enough for I got enough, cash on me to go, do 10 spins or do 20 spins or something like that. I have not yet upgraded myself to playing in the high limit areas. I've looked at a couple of the high limit areas, and I have to admit that none of the machines in those areas really excite me. Okay? Because I don't know what it is about them. I just prefer the machines that look, like Buffalo Gold Revolution or look like High Limit. My favorite machine, and it's disappearing, and I don't know why, is Dean Martin. Have you seen Dean Martin?
I don't remember. I haven't played one. I might have walked by one.
God.
But yeah.
I mean, that machine, no matter what else has happened, if I see one, they're usually a 60-cent machine, and that's a $12 machine for me, because I'm going to go take 20 spins, hoping that I get the bonus round, because in the bonus round, they play Dean Martin music, and I consider it karaoke. So I will sing along with Dean.
Now, lots of people... Hey, copyright. We can't do it. But I have, people have told me they love this machine or that machine, but they've never given that good of a reason why they like a machine. Because if I win, Dean Martin sings.
Yeah. And my other favorite machine is the Buffalo Gold Revolution, because it's got the spinner on top to see if, because I've seen a few videos of people getting all 15 of the Buffaloes, and it's like, that is very cool, and I'm hopeful that happens to me one of these days, but there's a couple other machines I like, but going into the high limit areas at some of the casinos, it seems like they've taken a bunch of older machines and put them in there, and that, like the Game King machines. I don't know if I can say that or not, but there's the machines that still have the spinners in them. I'm just not a big fan of those.
And so it doesn't seem like it is. I've been, I go to as many casinos as possible, and once I travel and review it. And I've been to a bunch of different high limit rooms. And when I was in Las Vegas, the second time, I had just won like a $1,400 hand pay back at home in Cincinnati. And so a couple of days later, I'm in Las Vegas, and I take I took $4,000 to play on slots. And I went to 8 different high limit rooms on the Strip, and I budgeted $500 on each. And it wasn't until I got to the 8th one that, I saw a guy who the first place I stopped, I shouldn't really say which casino because it's not a positive review, but talked to a slot attendant who was kind of dusting. Nobody was there, old machines, and he talked to me about meeting Frank Sinatra. And that kind of gives you a feeling of what you're doing. Dean Martin, I'm doing Frank Sinatra.
If they had a Sinatra machine, I would play it. So I went to 8 different ones, and it wasn't until I got to the last one, when I last budgeted $500, that I went up. It was Mandalay Bay, and I was just delighted, but I was kind of like, I should have started on the other end of the Strip. But because a lot of them, they put old machines in there, and it's like
that's what I'm seeing when I go to all these casinos. That's what I'm seeing, and I'm like, it's not even high limit machines. There's 10-cent denomination machines next to $10 denomination machines, and I'm like, that's a problem waiting to happen. People are going to be, I can't believe I went one over, and now I spent like 3 credit, $30, and I thought it was going to be 30 cents, something. And
no, I mean, now the casino that I used to take my mother to, they had, I wasn't playing slots at the time, but they did have a high limit room that my mother would occasionally drift into, but their high limit room was, I think it's unique in that they had $1 machines over here and $5 machines over here, and they had a few $10 machines over there. And they weren't, now this is, my mother's been dead for a few years. This is probably 15 years ago, I'm talking, okay? The machines they put in those rooms were not the old ones, they were new. I mean,
I've seen that too.
That casino, but that particular casino knew where its bread was buttered. They were in a neighborhood where they had people who would come in and play the high limit machines. They would drop, okay, I'm going to take 10 spins at $100 each, and if I win, I win, and if I lose, I'll go do something else, and but yeah, to have a 10-cent machine next to a $1 machine, But again, caveat emptor, the person needs to look at the machine. And one of the pieces of advice that you give in one of your videos is to go in and read the rules, which I do on every machine I play. And I play the Buffalo Gold Revolution a lot. But still, I'll make it a point. I haven't read the rules yet this month because we just went from May to June. So the next time I go play it, I'm going to read the rules to see if anything changed.
It's amazing what you can find just looking around. Looking up from the slot machine, looking into the game rules, it starts to accumulate. Like, for instance, what you're doing is you watch for a change. And isn't that an interesting change? When you do see something, it's like, my, look at that.
Yeah. Oh, it used to take 14 gold buffaloes. Now it takes 15.
Yeah, it's like MGM recently went from $2 spent to earn a point. And now it's $4 to earn a point. And it's just like, if you have more than one players club, then you want to sort of keep an eye on things that are important to you. If you don't care about comps, you don't care about comps. But if you do care about comps and you're trying to invest in the best one, there's competition between the clubs, between the casinos, and they're trying to get your dollars. But how a lot of changes took place with a lot of different players clubs. So I'm not dinging MGM because I don't know how they relate. If they don't relate well to the past, but they might be very good for what's currently available from other casinos. And so it's just something where if you are, investing your time and money into playing slots and accepting complimentary gifts and want to get to a particular tier, you kind of want to check every once in a while to see if it's changed. And, revolutionary thought.
Yeah. Well, MGM posted billboards all over Vegas, and they put it on buses and everything like that. And they've got it posted all throughout their casinos that their rewards program has changed.
Yeah.
And the thing that changed is the other dollars you spend at the casino now earn you points. Okay. And so if you are I occasionally play craps. If you're at a craps table, those points accumulate at a faster rate at the craps table. The live games pay more than the slots, but a lot of people don't want to play craps at a strip casino because you're talking about a $25 limit table. So if you're going to play across the board, you're putting out $150 on one die roll. I don't know, Yeah. And the other thing that they do, and this is the thing that affects me, is I have friends come into Vegas because I work for an airline. I can fly them in for free, but I need a place for them to stay. So I'll put them up at one of the MGM resorts. If I like the person, I'll put them up at the Aria, and if I don't, I'll put them up over at the other places.
Okay. So do your friends listen to podcasts?
The friends
Wait a minute. I was put in someplace else besides Aria. You might get some calls.
Yeah, you might. At least I didn't put you up at the Comfort Inn in Pahrump, So.
You are a character.
Thank you. Yeah. But those things. So the last time I did it, I couldn't get rooms at the Aria. I put a couple of my friends up at the Luxor, and what I spent on the room counted towards my level. Okay.
Yes.
So the dollars you spend on a room are 1-to-1.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So their rewards program, I have to figure out, is this a good rewards program or not?
It is. I don't mean to say it is. I mean, I went to MGM Grand Detroit. I guess it's been like 3 months or something like that, and I they tried to explain it to me. So when you spend $4, you get 1 penny on slots play. So you have to spend a lot of money, but you can recycle. You can You can cycle your bankroll, but that's towards the. It gets to $5 or something, you can withdraw it as free slots play. And they were very clear that the tier level points and the credits and all of that was based on, are you getting a room tonight? How long did you spend on a machine? How long did you spend at a table? What was the amount that you bet? Not just how much did you spend. Maybe you spent, they said it's complicated and we can't even tell you what it's going to be because it's all very individualized. And that's what I learned at MGM Grand Detroit. And that's what you're describing. Yeah. Yeah.
And for me, before my concussion, I would go out. I'd be in Vegas for a month. I'd go to the Aria because they have the nicest poker room. It is a beautiful poker room, by the way. And I would sit in that poker room and I would, I'd play one game for 6 hours, and I'd go to another game for 6 hours, and I'd go to another game for 6 hours. Then I'd go to my hotel, and I'd repeat the process. Lather, rinse, repeat, catch a flight home. So I had a lot of hours at the poker table. So when they changed the reward program, it's like, oh, you're this level now. I'm like, cool. you know?
Oh, it was an improvement.
Oh yeah, for me it was a tremendous improvement because for me it came with, you know, free parking, half price off on shows, up to 6 shows a year.
Yeah, if it was better than it had been, then you know, then you're happy. Okay.
Oh, you know, but if all they threw my way for that what was free parking, okay, you know, because the way the poker room works, every hour you sit, you get $2 in comps to spend around the casino for meals. So if I spent, you know, if my typical 18-hour day playing poker, the next day I would go in and I would have $36 to buy myself breakfast and leave a nice tip.
Yeah.
You know?
Yep.
So, I mean, but part of it, you know, when I do play slots, I use your 5-spin method. I try to pick a highly visible machine. If it says it's a winner, I'm going to play it. Okay. And, you know, I'll give it the 5 spins. But if since my $11,000 payoff, I'm a little bit negative, maybe $800 negative, but that $11,000 payoff was back in October.
Okay.
To be $800 negative over 6 months isn't bad, you know, and I've still got, you know.
Is that just slots or poker and slots? Okay. All right.
Just I separate them out. Okay. Okay. Because poker, the World Series of Poker is coming to Vegas over the next it lasts a few months now, and it brings in some of the softest poker players in the world. I kid you not, and I'm looking forward to sitting at the tables, you know. And the time when I can't be sitting at a table, I'll head over to a slot machine and take my 5 spins. But I'm seriously looking forward to people that, you know, have been watching poker on TV for the whole year and
are just glad to be there. And if they lose money, then, you know, it's part of the experience. And I have heard that from poker players. There's another podcast called You Can Bet on That. And there's Mark and Dr. Mike, and I had a chance to meet them at a gambling podcasters meetup and all of that. And Mark was telling me that he plays poker to fund, going out with his co-host that he's known since college to play craps. So poker funds his craps. Because in craps, long term, you lose. But in poker, that's not necessarily the case. And so, like you know, he just beats the pants off people who don't know what they're doing. And so he explained that to me, and I'm like, wow, that's interesting. Yeah. Yeah.
But the other thing slots my slots journey has done is, in the casinos, there are sports books, okay? And I am slowly teaching myself the ins and outs of the sports book industry. It's like, okay, how does all this work, you know? And there's a lot that goes into it.
I know. I know some things about it. Of course, my channel is about slots and not poker, not craps, because there's enough going on with slots to keep me busy and staying, you know, focused. But I do know that the sports betting, you know, they talk about so many details. There's these memes that are kind of a little bit, you know, being joking, but it's like, you know, I knew the direction of the wind on the day of the play, and I calculated, you know, what's going on, and you know, you're like, are they serious? Are they not serious? You know, it's sports betting. It's complicated.
Yeah. But I just brought it up because it's one of the offshoots of my slots journey. But I don't know how to really express this next part, but I am so grateful that I blundered on to that one video. I mean, you wind things back And if it hadn't been for a motor vehicle accident in Cedar Rapids, Iowa, of all places, you know, we wouldn't be talking today, because if that had not happened, I would have continued playing poker. I wouldn't have focused on slots at all. But that happened, so then my attention span went from incredibly long to incredibly short, you know.
18 hours. You've mentioned 18 hours.
Yeah, from 18 hours to a few minutes, you know. And to this day, the longest videos I can really watch on YouTube, I mean, I can't watch your whole live stream. I have to do it in sections.
And I thank you for watching the live streams. To the podcast listener, I have live streams, and I'm glad that you're able to watch a bit of it, and I hope you get something from it. It sounds like you have a really positive attitude, but it sounds like quite the disturbing thing to happen. Given that lack of attention span now, and from what you had, that's I don't want to get all weepy or anything, but my goodness, good luck with your ongoing recovery.
I have a choice to make. Okay, I can live with who I am with this short attention span, and I can make the most of it, which, whatever you have to make the most of it, or you're shorting yourself. So I can either live with this and make the most of it, or I can sit around and be upset. And that doesn't do anybody any good, especially me. So I try to make the most of it every day. And, I blundered into your video, and your video, okay, I had to watch it 4 or 5 times and think, is this real? I had to, and I had to prove it. I had to prove it to myself. And the first day I went out to prove it to myself, I played two machines. It's all I had time for, because I had to catch the shuttle to get back to the airport, catch my flight. But I played these 2 machines, and I wound up walking away with almost $1,700.
I've gotten comments from people on that video saying, I don't know what this is. I guess I'll try it. Oh my God, what happened? I'm just, I missed my flight because of the hand pay. I'm like, sorry, I guess.
And working in the airline industry here in Las Vegas, I've had so many people miss flights because they were on a hot streak. I had one guy, come up to me that he hit a hand pay in the airport. Okay?
Yeah.
Okay. I had another guy come up. It's like, I just had to take one more roll as shooter. I was at the Aria, and I had to take one more roll as shooter. Well,
now that's a different problem. That's a different problem.
Yeah, but he rolled 30 times.
Yeah.
So it's like, it's like, dude, you got to get to the airport,
Yeah.
And then some people trying to get them to where they're going. You're going to where? We get you there in 4 days.
I want to tell you that my 5 spin method is not my best strategy. It is the best marketing term, and that meant YouTube promoted it and it got out there. But personally, I prefer number 7, win, walk away, return later, which is a terrible description. So I've been working on, I started off strategy 1, 5 pull method, 5 spin method. It started out as only win immediately, and I got nowhere. And then I changed it to 5 pull method, and that had some internet ramifications I won't get into. And then it switched over to the 5 spin method, and it's just, rocketed out there. So it's 3 words, 2 words and a letter, or a number. And I'm like, how can I change number 7, win, walk away, return later? And it was maybe 2 hours ago that I went, repeat wins 4x. let's see how that grabs people. Yeah. That's the one I won the most on.
How about win now, comma, and win later?
Yeah, I got that suggestion. I asked for suggestions in the live stream, and podcast listener, if you want to send me your suggestion for what I should change the name to be more capture of the imagination for strategy 7, win, walk away, return later. I'm thinking repeat wins or repeat wins 4x, because it's kind of descriptive of what that strategy is about. If you take the course, you'll find out. But personally, that's most of the reasons the hand pays that I got were mostly from that. And the 5 spin method, yeah, I got a bunch there too, but it was 2 to 1, 3 to 1. Yeah.
Yeah. But the machines that I won on,
yeah,
I do go back to those machines. If I go to South Point,
yeah,
I've had 3 machines that I've had substantial wins on. I will go to those 3 machines. If I go to the MGM Grand, there's machines I've had substantial wins on. I only played 1 machine. I've gone to Circa once. I played 1 machine there. I won $200 on it. Next time I get back to Circa, I'm going to that machine.
And from having taken the course that you found winning machines, and so you need to repeat whatever you did, and if you can isolate it so that you win every time or most of the times, that is what you're trying to do. You're automatically taking one strategy and another strategy and maybe a best practice and a tip and doing gambling records, and you're combining it into this unique combination for your slots journey, which is what you're describing to me. I can tell you're combining location with coming back, later on the same machine. And, I don't know if you're going back at the same time, which is just spot on. And then the 5 spin method. And it's all kind of like what you put together. You're a, poker player. You've been doing it for a long time. And this is what a poker player would do. You don't want one method. You're just like, throw the kitchen sink at it and do everything to optimize. Yeah. If you could find out a way to sort of stare down the slot machine, I'm sure you'd do that too.
Actually, I want to get the slot machine talking to me. Because if I could get the slot machine talking to me, I'm pretty glib. I could probably get the slot machine to give me a tell.
Well, as the slot whisperer, somebody called me that in a live stream or 2 ago. Are you the slots whisperer? I'm not great with people, but machines talk to me.
Don't sell yourself short.
Well, I feel that way. I've worked hard to fake it till you make it. But slot machines talk to me. It's not, they don't actually talk to me. It's just, I walk away because they're dull. I stay because something's going to happen and is happening. And I recognize the little signs, and it's just part of my, years of physics lab, being in a laboratory doing research. And, that stuff's hard. If you're cutting edge in the world, you have to go, what's going on here? And you dwell on it and you think about it. And, you're working 16, 18-hour days, getting paid nothing as a graduate student, or you go to a big company and they say, here's $7 million. You must spend it, and you must do well at spending it. And it's just like, right. And, oh, by the way, report everything. And all, so it's physics, it's engineering, it's business. And so that's what it is for slots for me. I'm taking what I learned as a engineering professional, as a physics scientist, and I'm applying it to this environment of slot machines. And for some people, that's going to be like cool. For some other people, it's going to be like, oh, that's boring. I was the cool physics instructor. Okay.
I totally get it.
Yeah. So tell me, So we kind of talked about the past. We kind of talked about your what you learned from the course, what you're doing with these combining that you're doing. What's the future look like?
My future is looking awesome. Okay, I'll start right there. My future is looking awesome. Okay, my personal life is moving in a direction I like. My professional life in the airline industry is slowing down, which I'm appreciative of, because I went from 80-hour weeks to coming up, I'll be working 15-hour weeks for the foreseeable future. I might pick up some extra shifts here and there.
Good luck.
That's all slowing, yeah, that's all slowing down. And because those things are slowing down, it's going to give me more time to work on the slots, because I've got your course and I've worked my way through it once, but I need to get through it again. And for those of you listening to this course here, to this particular podcast, which is going to turn into a YouTube live stream, you should subscribe, by the way. It's money well spent as far as I'm concerned. It was a tremendous boon for me, because as I went through it, I realized I could take this thread and that thread and that thread, and I could tie them together in a nice bow and make it work. So my future as far as slots is looking good. And the other thing about the slots, and this is going to sound weird, with my concussion, it has helped me expand my attention span. Normally a conversation, we've been going almost 45 minutes.
Yeah. Normally
a conversation like this would be hard for me. But this is not. I've been in a good zone here. So the slots and going to the casinos, I have expanded my attention span. I hope to be able to get back and play poker at the level I was playing before, and just get some slots in between tables. And other things, there's other aspects of the gaming world that I want to get deeper into. I'd like to learn more about sports betting.
Sure.
Maybe take a job as a bookie if I learn enough.
Sure.
Because they got to have them at the casinos, something like that, but my future looks good to me as it expands out in front of me. The possibilities are endless. To quote the football player Aaron Rodgers, it's a beautiful mystery. Where I end up is where I end up. But I am thrilled to be where I am right now.
I love your attitude. I love your attitude. I am having so much fun. I was laid off, and that was a shock, but it was also not a surprise. It's nevertheless hard, and so I decided to put myself full time into Professor Slots, where I hadn't realized that. I'd been working on it a lot, but when you're kind of like, this is my job now, you really do focus, and I'm having a ball. I think this year might be my best year as far as happiness, because if I continue to grow, I'll need to have employees, and I have a feeling that might not be as fun as it is right now. I've not had employees before, but I'm looking forward to seeing where the direction of Professor Slots goes, because it's not just me. I have my plans, but there's also kind of like, how does this whole gaming industry react? And as I grow, I'm going to be noticed by more people, and opportunities will come out, and I'm trying to prepare for that. It's just terribly exciting. I got to remember to sleep sometimes.
Yeah. So Professor Slots, you must, if you're a professor, you have to have, the Slots University or the Cincinnati College of Slots or something like that.
I thought about that. I was going to go with academy or university, and so that may be something I do. It's thank you for the marketing. I need help with marketing. Thank you. That's an excellent suggestion. Once I have like more classes, to talk about different things, then yes, that's exactly, I come to the university and online, of course, so that anybody can join and take classes. But this is, my first class was a year ago in May last year, and first class for Professor Slots. And yeah, I need to build another one, and you really do need to polish them and make them perfect. And I could use some.
Oh, you'll drive yourself crazy.
Well, no, I don't mean. I mean, there's major steps where I have the information, but some people learn with diagrams, and I want to put in like a slide next to me with the bullet points, because there's 3 different ways people learn, and one of them's listen, one's to do, and one's to see, and I'm trying to make sure that I have that teaching. Sorry, I'm getting into what it means to be a professor and aspects of it. Yeah, and that's the next step. Yeah, that's the next version of the course. The content is, there will be a few updates on a few things that have happened in the last. My last update was like September, and there's been a few changes to sort of tweak here and there. But mostly, I just want to put slides next to me, so that people who learn that way will be able to see the bullet points and a presentation. That's one of the things I want to do more often, like on the live streams, is present kind of the simple, short bullet point, because there's a whole group of people that learn that way. Yeah.
This might be getting into stuff you don't want to put in the podcast. Have you considered using the Canva? It's a small software app program to make flip books for your students to download.
And what product would be in the flip books?
It would be the study guide to your classes.
Okay, so you're suggesting I have lots of software that does what Canva does. And,
okay. What I'm suggesting is you've got your course that goes for $99 when I bought it,
yep,
which is, by the way, a great $99. Okay. But you could take you've got what, 8 methods now?
10.
8 or
10.
10?
Yeah. Okay.
So you could make flip books in Canva, okay, and put them out there for, say, $15.99, $19.99, something like that. So if a person doesn't want to buy the whole $100 course, doesn't want to have to grind all the way through it, they could just buy your 5-spin method for $20.
Well, what I've been doing is making that free, with the videos. But how do I put this? The course isn't the videos. I mean, eventually I just got a notification that I have 300 videos on YouTube. So it's getting to be, and I'm putting out like 30 a month now. So by the end of the year, it'll be 600. And by the end of next year, it could be 1,200. And so that gets to be a bit much for people who watch all my content. And so the course actually, goes through the topics, and you can find some of the videos, but it's the homework. It's the descriptions, it's step by step, and not missing anything. And so it's a convenience is what it is. And I will think about what you're suggesting. There's many small products. As you know, in the course, I provide the templates and free. And I thought I would make a video for just that, and sell how to use it and describe it and go through it and say this and this tip, because
there's a place for that.
Yeah. And I have that all set up. I just need to do it. And lately it's been amazing. I was just talking to a friend of mine this morning, and I was just like, wow, I have a bunch of ideas lately, and I'm going to have to do the ones that are most important first. There's so many of them. I'm trying to just kind of pace myself and remember to sleep. So I don't want to go on about me, but I think it's important that people understand that the course is great, but it is also growing. And I'm trying to polish, and help people who learn this way to take the course better and all of that. But, coming back to you, it sounds like this is a wonderful slots journey. Thank you so much for sharing it with us.
Yeah. Okay. So at this part you're going to edit. I know you said you're going to edit at the beginning. Do you have a good conclusion for my story here, or do you need more?
No, this is positive. I'm not trying to cap or summarize you. I am letting the podcast listener, hear what you have to say, and hopefully it will resonate with them. I've had people who just were shy and gave like one-word answers, and I'm like, I'm not sure I can even use this. Corbin Dallas from that movie Fifth Element. It's like, and how's it all going? And tell us what's going on. Blah blah blah. And he's like, fine. I'm just like, you're killing me here. So no, you're not like that. I appreciate your comments, and so thank you so much. Oh, sorry. I may cut that. My cat knocked something over and my dog is barking. So we'll exit on that. Thanks so much. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor. Have a positive night.
Yeah, you too. Bye.
Bye.
Wow, Isaac, calm down. I hope that wasn't too loud for you. Improve your slots performance in 30 days or less with my 30 days to play slots smarter and win. You'll also get 3 free valuable bonuses. Plus 1 month free membership to my Slots Enthusiast Growth Network, where you'll get community support and accountability. Visit ProfessorSlots.com/30 days to learn more about the free bonuses, course content, and testimonials from participants. Isaac, I'm going to take that squeaky toy from you. The next episode of the Professor Slots podcast will be a change in my podcast format. I've done interviews in the last 19 episodes, mostly of participants in my online course, but I'm ending those conversations for now. Instead, I'll be podcasting about important and exciting slots topics. And if you're listening to me as a video on YouTube, that experiment is over. Before interviews, I was sharing YouTube live streams to my podcast listener, and lately I've been sharing my podcast content with YouTube. But neither works. So if you're watching this on YouTube, it's time you followed my podcast show on your Apple or Android device, or listen to my episodes on my website at ProfessorSlots.com/podcast. On your favorite podcast app, just search for Professor Slots, Play Slots Smarter and Win, because that's the name of the show. And for my podcast listener, my apologies for splitting my attention and trying to do too many things at once with this podcast. In other news, unfortunately, because of rising costs due to inflation, I have to increase the cost of my online course, 30 Days to Play Slots Smarter and Win. But the price increase is not quite here yet. It's been discounted 50% for $100 off since I launched it in May last year, so inflation or not, it's time. The new cost will go into effect at 10 p.m. Eastern on Sunday evening, June 26th, 2022. So what does this mean for you, right here, right now? It means that if you join today, you get access to 30 Days to Play Slots Smarter and Win for only $97, while the 50% discount still exists. Lock in that price now for lifetime access so you don't miss out. To sign up, visit ProfessorSlots.com/30 days. That's the end of another great episode of the Professor Slots podcast. Thanks so much for listening. I plan to have the next episode come out very soon for you, where I'll have more amazing content for the show. Until the next episode, have fun, be safe, and make good choices. Bye.